welcome to Getting Your Money's Worth, the show that focuses on value. I'm Judith West, and our guest today is Eileen Sharaga, career counselor, and you offer services under Career Resources, correct?
Correct.
Good. Okay, so career counselor, you know a lot about this more than I do. Tell me something. How do people choose their career?
Poorly.
Yes, okay. That's a good answer. That's a very good answer.
The point is that they don't choose their career, or if they choose it based on other people's expectations of what a work life should look like, or they just fall into something and accidentally, or you know, if they were good at dancing when they were 12 years old, their mother said, you should be a dancer, or they liked hospitals when they were 15, you should be a doctor, but it's really the wrong way to.
That was a good answer. I mean, and over and over again, we see it, what their parents were doing. So tell me, you have you have studied and you offer a service to change that poorly to well.
Right, because the depth of my work comes from my life, because I've had 7 careers myself.
Oh, really?
In 7 different industries, and I've had about 35 jobs within those industries.
So you're not an example of joining a company and staying there until you retire.
No, because you see, I've done a lot of different things. I've been in the advertising industry. I was an executive director for a trade association for the car rental industry. I was an executive recruiter for art directors, producers, and writers. I hooked up with a venture capitalist and raised $5 million for a startup company having to do in telecommunications. I was in university work. So.
You've had some diverse experience.
So I really understand what it means to choose a career. Or
well, tell me something, Eileen. Did you have these 7 various careers because you never could find anything you liked?
Not at all.
But did you do it purposefully to take
No,
as much
I didn't
as
do it purposefully. I just fell into it. When someone had said to me, you know, when I was going off to college, what do you want to be when you grow up? My answer was, I don't care what I do as long as I'm with interesting, creative people. So I kind of intuitively went after that, not being conscious of it. But today, it's very hard to do that because the stakes are higher today.
And the options are fewer.
The options are fewer. There used to be 600 advertising agencies, and now there's 6, and they're all owned by the same conglomerates. So there used to be 500
I was a retailer. There used to be a zillion retailers.
Exactly.
Now there's only a few. And as you say, many of them are under the same corporate umbrella.
So what happens is that the room for creativity is lost because corporate America is very corporate. It's very quantitative. It's very number crunching. It's very analytic. So what happens to the people that want to do a little of this and want to do a little of that?
I mean, I used to do, it's called human resources. I used to do some of that for a retailer that I work for, and I don't want to give my age away, but I mean, he was much older, the owner of the company, and he always wanted me to look for a Gal Friday. Do you remember the expression Gal Friday?
I do, Gal Friday. And you would look in the New York Times, Gal Friday.
And I said, well, what's a Gal Friday?
Right.
And he's looking at me like I was nuts. He said, somebody that can do everything.
Exactly.
But that's what the man wanted.
But that's not the world we're living in today. The world of work that we're living in today is a very niche world of work. Right. So it's become very skill-centered. We've gone from a job-structured workplace to more of a skill-structured workplace. Yes. So it's never been more important to identify what your skills are, what one's portfolio of skills. But I would go a step further. It's really not identifying our skill set. It's identifying our self-definition, because a satisfying career requires looking at 4 different facets of self. Skills is one of them, but then there's values.
Let's go slow. First off, a satisfied career is very good traction for a satisfying life.
Exactly. And one of my mottos is, if you love your career, you love your life.
Okay. So let's go back to the facets of making planning or trying to interpret what would be a satisfying career. And you talk about skill sets. What are the kinds of skills that are most valuable, have you found?
Well, there are 3 categories of skills that people don't really understand. The first category we call technical skills, and they're specific to a specific task. So if you were a neurosurgeon or you did HTML coding on the web, you need that particular skill.
Something that's very
specific,
very specific to that niche.
Right. A cameraman, they would have to know that particular
skill.
An accountant would have to know QuickBooks or whatever,
whatever they have to know.
Right.
Okay. All right. So
second category of skills we call adaptive skills, and those are skills that are rooted in our personality that show up early in life, like
such as
curiosity, optimism, loyalty, perseverance, determination, and they help us navigate through life, and they're skills employers value. But it's the third category of skills that are most important in developing a career. And unlike the first 2, which are infinite in number, the third category breaks down into 7 basic skill clusters, and we call them transferable skills.
Such as?
The 7 transferable skills are communication, creativity, research, organization, analytical, problem solving, and synthesizing.
Okay, let's talk about a few. Can you teach problem solving?
Well, it depends what kind of problems you want to solve. There are some people that solve.
How do people learn problem solving?
Well, that's why we call them transferable skills. Our transferable skills are apt to have shown up early in life and been a source of our self-expression. So the child at 9 years old is figuring out Legos, and that's a problem solving. That's an analytical problem solving skill. Someone else could solve a problem, how to get out of a burning building. So there are different problems.
Or a strategy even to drop the ball in the basket.
Exactly. And that's a transferable skill. That's the whole point. The person who has good communication skills at 7 years old may have a lemonade stand and persuading people that walk by to buy their product. So
when a potential employer is interviewing someone, are they able to ascertain through an interview whether the candidate has these transferable skills that you're talking about?
Well, first of all, the potential employer has screened that person's resume very carefully, and they have a very specific job description. So before they're even called on an interview, there's a very extensive screening process.
So showing your skill set starts with the resume you put together?
Absolutely. I'm constantly amazed at how many clients I see that say they've been looking for, and they're very talented people, whether they're investment bankers or lawyers or...
in today's world, anybody could be looking for a job.
Anybody could be looking for a job. A recent college grad.
Yeah.
It all starts with the resume, and I am amazed at how some of the most intelligent, successful people just do not reflect the depth and breadth and experience on their resume. It's just, the resume is like a 60-second commercial of who you are, and it has to be very strong.
Wasn't that something that people learn in school?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Unfortunately, the colleges don't teach you about the world of work. I set up an internship program at a university for 6 years, so I was in, colleges. And colleges provide you with a good education, but they don't prepare you for the world of work. And
it's a shame.
Sigmund Freud said, to work and to love are the most important things in life. And unfortunately for the world, he never said another word about work.
Exactly.
And people don't really understand.
And truthfully, and if you want to go on, that was interview is not about Freud, but people who work well and are happier in love.
Absolutely. And you know why? Because when we do the work that is satisfying and fulfilling, then we're using our strengths, and our strengths are what give us confidence. And our confidence is what makes us powerful and strong and lovable, and the confidence to feel lovable and be lovable.
So your work is really, you have a big plate today if you wanted to have it. I mean, there's plenty of people not only that can't find work when they graduate, but there are plenty of people in their mid to late 40s that have been their companies have closed, or they've been or downsized, or gone out of business altogether. How are all those folks, and many of the jobs that those folks had don't even exist anymore, Eileen?
And that's why my model for career development, whether you're a college graduate or you're a 55-year-old mid-career changer, the process is exactly the same. And to sum up that process...
Yeah, let's go through that process. A few minutes we have left.
To sum up that process, I'll just quote Abraham Maslow, who said...
He's a well-known psychologist?
Vocational psychologist.
Okay.
And he said, if you want to find out what you should be doing, then you need to find out who you are. And it's never been more important.
How do you do that?
Well, what I do is I take people through a process.
How am I? Help me.
Okay, at the most fundamental level, a career equals a role and an industry. A role is what translates into a skill set, and an industry is what translates into a subject matter. So if someone may have a strong interest in a subject matter, whether it's health or education or fashion or the environment, then they need to figure out what role they're going to play
within that
arena.
Within that arena.
Other people play a role in life or in work, which is generally the source of their skills. They're good at managing people.
There are majors now in college. We don't have that much time left, but entrepreneurship. Well, how can you study to be an entrepreneur?
I used to teach entrepreneur, and I used to give the first course, To Be or Not to Be an Entrepreneur, and I asked the class, why do you want to be an entrepreneur? And they said, because I don't want to be fired from a job.
Yeah.
Not because they have a passion.
Or they'll say, I want to be flexible. I want to work the hours I want to work.
Exactly.
Or they'll say something very esoteric that has nothing to do with the really hard gut level
of
work
who
of
are
being
you?
an entrepreneur.
What excites you? What ignites you? What are you good at? You know, you need to know all aspects of yourself.
Right. So so we have 1 minute left. What's the most important thing to do?
Know yourself.
How do you learn about yourself?
Well, you go through a process of self-assessment.
What do I like? What am I interested in? What turns me on?
Right.
Do I like food?
What are your values? Do you need?
Well, what about a kid that says, I want to make a lot of money?
Well, you know what? A kid that says, I want to make a lot of money will be in my office 5 years later, because money is not the driving force today.
Yeah, there's got to be some kind of ego.
Some psychic satisfaction.
There has to be an ego satisfaction.
Exactly.
Because even making money can, first off, you can lose it, and second of all, it can get boring, believe it or not.
Exactly. And then money just becomes a toy, and it doesn't provide the satisfaction. And there's never enough.
There's never enough. How much is enough? There's never enough.
Right. Exactly.
Well, you have a plethora of clients.
Yes.
Available clients these days.
Yes,
right?
The whole world.
The whole world. Anyway, thanks for being on this show.
Oh, you're very welcome. I enjoyed it, Judith.
Right. You're watching Getting Your Money's Worth with Judith West. Thanks for watching.